announcement, folks, something we've been waiting on for several months, and it's now here. It's called Bella Melt. You were on it for just 1 week when you lost 3 pounds. So in the first week, you lost 3 pounds on this, right?
That is correct.
Your GLP-1 is a natural hormone that's in every single one of our bodies. And your GLP-1 lets you know if you're full. It's a satiety hormone. So when your GLP is working properly, it does help suppress your appetite as well as reduce those cravings. It's a sugar-free fast melt caramel. So what it's going to do best is it's going to reduce your sugar cravings or any other cravings you have in your body. It's going to suppress that appetite. But where Melissa got the most benefit, I think, over the last week was the L-carnitine. The L-carnitine tells your mitochondria, this is where you make, we've talked about it before, this is where you produce energy in your cells. It actually tells those mitochondria to burn fat for fuel. We're noticing other people losing up to 7 pounds in the first week. 4 pounds has been about the average. As you lose weight and as you take these Bella Melts, it's going to help lower that blood sugar in your body as well.
All the information is there. MelissaHouseBG.com, MelissaHouseBG.com. Just now introducing for the first time Bella Melt with GLP-1 fast action.
Your name is the highest, your name is the greatest, your name stands above them most high God.
Amen. You can be seated as we welcome you today for a historic day on the campus of Liberty University, as we in God's sweet providence have the opportunity to welcome to our stage the Crown Prince of Iran, Reza Pahlavi. Reza Pahlavi was born he was born as the son of the Shah of Iran, His Imperial Majesty Mohammed Reza Pahlavi. And in 1967, the Crown Prince was so designated. He became the youngest fighter pilot in the country of Iran's history, where he attended pilot training at Reese Air Force Base in Lubbock, Texas. After the Iranian Revolution in 1979, he has lived in exile since then. He studied political science at the University of Southern California and has spent the bulk of his life as what we will call today a freedom fighter. And so please help me welcome to the stage a man of great moral conviction who is fighting the good fight all around the world so that the people of Iran can have the kind of freedom and enjoy the blessings of liberty that you and I so often take for granted. Please help me welcome to the convocation stage the Crown Prince of Iran, Reza Pahlavi.
Welcome to Live Up to Freedom. I know if you want to hear the speech, you got to go watch it yourself or wait for Monday where I will play the speech. Welcome to Live Up to Freedom. Thank you so much for joining me in this rainy yet beautiful Wednesday, April 1st, 2026. We are live on worldviewtube.com, WorldViewTube, a Rumble and X account, a WorldViewTube app that is available for free on your app store. We're also live on X America News on X and my platforms on X, Facebook, Rumble, YouTube, and Substack. Join the conversation as you always will, and I will keep an eye on your comments. I've been already looking at your comments. Let me answer the first question. Substack, Annalise, good to see you. That language was Farsi. This event took place this morning at Liberty University. The beautiful young lady who was doing the Farsi and also parts of the English singing. You've seen her before. I played her clip saying a prayer in Farsi on my show before. She has an amazing voice, as you can tell. And that was, we played only maybe half, maybe less. But the performance was about 20 minutes before the stage was given to Crown Prince Pahlavi. I wanted to make sure you see the Farsi and English part because it was, I guess, aside the fact that, well, what can I say? Can you blame me? Also, I have had some of my lovely friends asking, do you have any Christian songs, in Farsi? Of course we do. Of course we do. Like, what kind of question is that? But I thought it would be nice to play the performance, of course, show off our beautiful young lady. And then the introduction, I thought, was by far one of the best, purest introduction that was done. But again, today we don't have the time to play his actual speech, which was wonderful and powerful. And anyways, April 1st, most people on the program are busy covering the April's Fools and things like that. I'm like, what? No, that's not what we're doing. We're going to bring this beautiful part of this beautiful performance. And I want to start by saying, long time ago, not that long, not as gray as my hair long time ago, but on January 14th or 15th on Brown House Live, Brown asked me, what do you think Trump's going to do? The help is coming topic was up, and I said, it doesn't matter with or without him. I worry not, because I know Lord is watching over my people. And tell me this morning event is not a sign of that. Republicans are tripping over each other for MEK. Apparently we have a regime change by Trump in Iran. It doesn't matter. Crown Prince Pahlavi gets invited to, and again, the speech itself has so much of Lord's words in it that it's just stunning. But 20 minutes of praising His Holiness by Iranians and Americans inside America. Like, that's why Lord is watching over Iranian people. So regardless of what man does, I worry not. But we will cover what man does, right? Because that's what we do. I will warn you, of course, you can see, I think my face is telling you everything I've been experiencing since that program this morning. I probably 10:30 in the morning. Like, my morning's been just gorgeous. I keep going back. I already downloaded the performance as a MP3. Like, I had my headphone on while getting my makeup on. It's just, anyways, I'll cut it short, because I do actually have a guest who's going to join me, who's no stranger to you guys. He's been with us before. I'm not sure if we have him yet, but as soon as I know that we do have him, we'll bring him on. But we do want to talk about the regime change. I shouldn't laugh, but I'm laughing. Of course, my heart is filled with just praise the Lord. But also, it's like since yesterday, I don't know. I don't want to judge. I don't know who's picking it up, who's not picking it up, who's seeing it, who's not seeing it. But immediately I'm like, oh, wow, look. The new language has been inserted into all clips. The new regime in Iran, the new regime in Iran, the new regime, you hear Trump say it, you hear Marco Rubio talk about it, you hear Pete Hegseth say it, and then talking heads repeating it. And it's like, we've got a new regime there? Okay, we need to talk about this, because this is becoming tragically hilarious. So we will, and I already borrowed extra time from Thomas today, so when we have Barry, we'll bring him on. We're going to talk about that. But while we wait for Barry to join us, which I should probably check my phone, because I have a text message. This could be, oh, it is Barry texting me. So let's see. Thomas, oh, gotcha. Okay, perfect. So we have Barry, but we have some audio issues. So I'm going to keep on. I'm going to go over your comments real quick before we get him on. And Annalise, I did answer your question about what language that was. It was Farsi. Also, I'm sorry you were feeling ill yesterday. I hope you're feeling better. And no worries about missing my show yesterday. It has been archived inside Substack, so you can go back and watch it. I'll send you the link, but I do pray you're feeling better. And Lori, I'm very happy you got your book today. That is very exciting. Hi, Christine. Good to see you. I know, Lori, that song was just amazing. Very good song. Oh, and yes, Annalise says, well, at least the church is welcoming the prince. And that's what I mean by God does what's needed to be done. The rest is, Hey, Lisa. Good to see you. It is always good when I have you on the live feed. Oh, great. You got your book as well. And again, please, guys, remember, your reviews are so good or urgently needed on Amazon. So if you got your books from Amazon, leave your reviews there, a line or two, or even if you don't feel like writing anything about it, you can just give it a stars, depending on if you think it deserves a 5, 4, or less. Good to know you're feeling better, Annalise. That's great. Yes, I am glowing today. Okay, part of the glow might be the makeup, but I'm glowing past the makeup. It's just amazing. Thank you, Lisa. Lisa, yes, I very irrelevant to the entire serious issues of our time, but if you walk in my closet, it's like chunks. It's black, blue, red. Like, I don't know why, but these are like priority colors. Brannan said today that Aaron Labarco is what? Aaron Labarco is missing? I hope it's not a April Fool's joke. Jerusalem Jane hasn't said anything about an internet outage. What? Okay, now I literally need to know. Aaron LeBron, okay, I'm gonna message him. That worries me. I don't think Brandon would do that as an April's Fool. Or if he did, he would tell you that's what it is. But thank you, Christine. Yes, I do feel fresh and full of joy. My heart is definitely. Hi, Nancy. Great to see you. Awesome. If you got your book from Amazon, then please don't forget to leave a review. Let's quickly check on our audience on Facebook and YouTube, and then we're going to bring Barry on. Hi, Ida Gun. No, it's Ida Gonzalez. Sorry. Hi, good to see you. Good afternoon, Tennessee girl. Zach Barker. I'm glad you're here. You wrote it perfectly in English. I don't know, Zach. I don't quote me, but I think they are non-denominational, the Liberty University, but I'll look and see. Ida Gonzalez says, is this that girl who doesn't truly believe? No, I don't know who you talk about. If you're talking about the beautiful young lady on a stage singing, she is a true believer. She is. I follow her closely every 10 minutes on her TikTok. She does amazing, she does, prayers and preaching in Farsi. So I know she is, definitely. Good to see you, Pookie. Tennessee girl, have you been wearing necklaces that you made? Yes, ma'am. Except my gold big winged horse lion. The rest of the necklaces I wear are those I made, and I do take custom orders on them. So if you want to place a custom order for any of those, feel free to go to lutfstu.com and place an order. Pookie, yes, tomorrow, myself, Hedi Amir Ahmedi, and Sharam Hedian will be joining together on Sharam's program tomorrow night to discuss a few things that needs to be discussing. Dan Dreyer, good to see you back on a Rumble. It's been a while. And yes, it is getting real. It is getting more real every day. Thank you. Yes, this is definitely my second most favorite necklace. Okay, enough of me, enough of the comments. I carry the show with this heart filled with joy, but we're going to have some, I'm going to laugh. Warning, my sarcasm level is going to be skyrocketing. I'm going to be laughing, not because I'm not taking this serious, but because if I don't laugh, then things are going to get very ugly. Why don't we do this, since we do have the borrowed 15 minutes to have a cleaner start? Let's do this. Let's take our first ad break, and then when we come back from that ad break, we bring Barry Nussbaum to start fresh on that segment about the topic of today. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Barry Nussbaum.
Life is too short to spend a single moment spinning in laundry worries. Take a load off your mind with the all-new Norwex Powerzyme laundry detergent. This natural detergent harnesses the power of enzymes and plant-based surfactants to leave fabrics fresh and clean without fillers, brighteners, synthetic fragrances, bleach, or harsh chemicals. So go ahead, have your cake and eat it too. More than ever, stressful stains have met their match. Powerzyme's fast-acting enzymes break down organic substances while natural surfactants loosen locked-in dirt and oil, removing residue, stains, and odors with ease. With 91% bio-based ingredients, this dermatologist-tested hypoallergenic formula is suitable for sensitive skin types and delivers a safe and effective clean that won't harm you or the planet's waterways. Less time spent worrying about laundry means you can focus on what truly matters. Norwex Powerzyme Laundry Detergent. Discover the power of nature and load up on confidence.
Welcome back to Live Up to Freedom. Thank you so much for staying with me until now. I did message Aaron. I am literally staring at my phone. As soon as I hear back from him, I'll let you all know so we can all take a breath and know that he is okay. CyrusWellness.com is where you can support me financially, because if you make a purchase from Norwex products on that website, I receive a percentage of your purchase as commission as one of their consultants. It's not just the financial support you show me, but I've been using their products for over 9 months now. I have fully converted to their product. Everything in my house now is Norwex, from shampoo, conditioner, skincare to cleaning cloth and cleaning products. So 100% chemical free. And it lasts you longer than other watered down product would, so you end up saving money while giving your home and yourself much healthier environment. Let's go ahead and bring on Barry Nussbaum, the only person who needs no introduction because he's a regular on my show, but we're still going to do that. He's the founder of American Truth Project, great friend of mine, and also colleague who fights the good fight every single day. I kid you not, every day they have new clips, new videos, and new reports coming out on American Truth Project, which you can check them out at findbarry.com. Welcome to the show, Barry.
So great to be with you. A ton to talk about. I don't even know where to start. Thank goodness it's your show, so you get to decide.
Thank you. Yeah, no pressure, no problem. Well, I don't know how much of the intro you caught, but I decided we start the show strong and rely on Lord's guidance as we get through this tragically, hideously hilarious day, because where are we going with this? I don't know. But let's just start here. Let's just start with the basic. You have been, well, you have more information when it comes to inside Israel than most of us. And you follow things very closely. You don't grab headlines from other reporters like, the same way I do things. You grab something, you dig, and you get your receipt. So let's just start with Israel. We're going to put U.S. aside for a minute. Let's just start with Israel. Where is Israel at? Where is Bibi and Israel military head is at when it comes to objective today?
There is a consistent variance, Annie, between the publicly announced long-term strategy of the U.S., which is 100% Donald Trump, and that of Israel, which is probably 75% Bibi and 25% military and the opposition. Bibi has no choice about the future, but Trump does. And what I mean by that is there's no chance that Israel can stop before Iran has regime change. And that is a very, very publicly announced goal of not only the Likud party, which, as I'm sure your viewers know, Israel is a parliamentary system. So Likud is in government now. The leader of the Likud party is Benjamin Netanyahu, which is why he is the premier or prime minister. But it's a coalition party. What's unique about Israel right now is even the parties that sit in opposition, meaning they're out of government, but they're in the Knesset, the parliament, are all aligned with Bibi, with the exception of the far left crazies. They have their own crazies, just like we do. And everybody inside the government, outside the government, in the ministerial cabinet, outside the ministerial cabinet, is 100% in agreement. There can be no deal long-term with anyone related to either the ruling mullahs or the IRGC. That is a publicly different consensus than the varying statements coming out of Donald Trump's mouth that seem to change pretty much daily. You and I discussed this over the last couple of days, and it's almost like we have a schizophrenic American public relations announcement that changes on the daily. And what I mean by that is yesterday Trump announced that there's basically been regime change in Iran, which is factually stupid. I don't know if he meant it the way it came out. Israel sees that the president is the same guy that's been the president. And the Speaker of the Parliament has been there for a while. Everybody else is new. And you can't make a deal with these people. These are the same people who made 10,000 long-range rockets, who made enough enhanced uranium for at least 11 nuclear bombs, who have sponsored proxies that want to destroy everything that's not Islamic. And I mean all the Christians, all the Jews, all the Buddhists, all the Hindus, and so on around the world. You can't make a deal with these people. It's as crazy as if it was April 1945 and Germany was defeated and Russia and the United States were occupying Berlin and said, you know, let's make a deal with some Nazis that we can talk to. That would have been insane. And so the United States said nothing other than unconditional surrender, the same thing they told the Japanese. Unless Trump goes back to the unconditional surrender idea, Israel may end up on their own. And I know that was a long-winded answer to your question. It's a simple question with a very complex answer. Israel is on the front lines. The United States isn't. Israel's getting blown up on the daily. The United States isn't, except for our bases getting hit. And I don't want to minimize that, but a sizable percentage of the population of Israel is in a bomb shelter 6 to 8 times a day, including my family. So there is a different goal in mind. Israel must change the regime. They must change the regime. I can say it 100 times. I can't overstate it. There must be regime change, according to Israel.
Yes, and I'm glad you actually explained that answer, because yes, it might seem like a simple question. It could have a simple answer, but that simple answer can be absolutely twisted into an expansion that's going to turn into something else. So I'm glad you did that. But on Brian House Live last night, I literally said a phrase and then I expanded it because, again, sometimes we have to do that. But the exact thing I said was, this war belongs to Israel. Not because it's not our fight too, but because Israel has faced the most pressure, damages, war, and casualties from this regime last 47 years than any nation. Secondly, Israel has put the proper energy, time, investment financially, and life of their agents in the line for years to come up with this plan that we interrupted last year after 12 days, and now we're trying to again hijack it after 5 weeks. That's why this war belongs to Israel, and no one shall stop them. And I don't want to sit here to anybody who might think I'm saying this thinking Bibi is in love with Iranian people. I do believe Bibi cares about Iranian people way more than any Western country. However, I want to be very clear. He's doing the right thing for his own people. And for that, kudos to him. Nobody can blame him, though many do. And they're more than welcome to do it. Not here, not on our program. But let's open up what you just said. And we have discussed. I wish it was daily. Barry, at this point, within a few hours, narrative is changing. And I mean, literally, we have the proof that hourly things are changing. Like, somebody hold him, like, it's like, okay, why don't you not post on social media or go in front of camera for about a good 6 hours? Like, let's just hold to one story for like 5 hours. Let's just start from now. I want to start with this because, oh boy, our audience are going to hear, when I heard this exact sentence, I was like, whoa. I went back, listened to it again. And I'm probably going to do this to Thomas. He's probably going to roll his eyes. But when we get to that, I'll have him replay that part. Is President Trump that naive? Or is President Trump putting up face for us, those of us who know? Let's start with the opening or the first part of his first answer to the first question yesterday afternoon about Iran. Can we play clip number 1, Thomas, please?
Iran, but first one that affects Americans here at home, gas prices. Today they hit $4.
We're $4, yeah, and we have a country that's not going to be throwing a nuclear weapon at us in
Of
6
course,
months.
but Americans are feeling the effects in the interim. Of
And
this
they're also
operation.
feeling a lot safer.
What is the plan to bring them back down?
All I have to do is leave Iran, and we'll be doing that very soon. And they'll become tumbling down. And stock prices were up today almost to a record because they know two things. Number one, we have a safe country. We had to take a little detour because we had a madman named Khomeini who sadly is no longer with us.
Okay,
And we
hold.
had regime change.
Did you catch that, Barry? We had to take a little detour because we had a madman called, well, it's Khomeini, but we'll give him a free pass for calling him Khomeini, who's sadly no longer with us. Wait, was he a madman, or are we sad he's no longer with us? Am I overreacting to this sentence?
Yeah, I think so. He is very imprecise in his grammar and his elocution. He says silly things, Annie, that when you try to translate into what does he really say? Is he sad that Khomeini was taken out in the first 45 seconds of the war, along with most of the mullahs and the heads of the IRGC? No, he's not sad. He bragged about it for 2 weeks.
Yeah, but he also bragged about saving his life last year.
I know. He says things that are either disingenuous, not thought out, or just silly. The fact of the matter is we are at full war with the agents of this country who have taken the dead guy's place. Is he sorry the guy is dead? No. He's as sad as he's dead as when Soleimani was taken out.
Right.
This to be celebrated. These are mass murdering, homicidal lunatics.
So let me connect this. Hold on. Because I'm glad you're putting it this way. Because I'm glad you said, so if this man doesn't think about what comes out of his mouth,
I don't think
doesn't
so.
that make him an extremely dangerous commander in chief?
Well, it only if the goofy things, or as I call them, silly statements, are matched by silly actions. Okay?
Which it has.
At times, but I want your viewers to be aware of something. Let's go back to a week and a half ago where Tucker Carlson has a meeting in the White House with Trump. And supposedly Trump telegraphs to Tucker Carlson, yeah, I'm sending all these planes over there. I'm sending all these troops over there, but we're not going to war. And the word is, and it's being investigated by the FBI, amongst other agencies, that Tucker got on the phone and called his contacts in Iran and goes, he's just making noise. There's not going to be a war. And then Trump went to war. I think we can look at this one of two ways. Either Trump just says goofy stuff and there's no filter between what's floating around in his brain and the connection to his mouth. That's possibility number one. Or two, he is, as they often say, his supporters, playing four-dimensional chess, and he's thinking 10 moves ahead of everybody else. Witkoff and Kushner were negotiating through the Qatarians right up to the time we started bombing Iran. Even though he said we're going to make a peace deal, we're going to make a really good deal. Even this morning, Annie, there was an announcement that I think came from last night where Trump said, we're very close to a deal. They want peace. The Speaker of the Parliament wants peace. And then the Speaker comes out with a press release and says, I never said that. The only way we're going to make peace with the United States is if the United States stops attacking us, they promise never to attack us again, and they pay reparations for all the damage they've caused, which is like in the trillions. So there are numerous stories, and none of them match up. So I think the thing we that analyze and comment have to do, which is step back and just ignore the noise and just watch what is happening. We are bombing the crap out of Iran every hour.
Wait, when you say we, are we talking U.S. or Israel? Because we know
Both.
that we is
Both.
different. Okay.
Both.
Okay.
Both.
Okay. Yeah,
And-
but would you
and-
agree? Would you agree
And
that
maybe
Israel has
there
not?
are more countries coming. Maybe.
Right. Well, I don't. Let's put that on pause for a second because I don't think they're coming. But would you agree that Israel has not taken a step back? Meaning every morning, because I follow it. You know, they send an alert. For example, residents of province of Iraq, not Iraq, the country, province inside Iraq, zone 4, evacuate. We're coming. 3 hours later, boom, done. Right? They have been precise. They're going with the plan. They have not eased down. They even announced that, with all due respect to the 10-day pause from U.S. We're continuing with our, but from our end, we haven't necessarily slowed down, but we kind of showing a different formation of these attacks, which makes me think, yes, I mean, I don't believe in 4D chess. That doesn't exist. And mind you, again, I build chess pieces with resin, so I know what I'm talking about. But I do believe that him being Trump, is still trying to figure out a way out of this mess without admitting that this is a mess. That's why the inconsistency is all over the place.
Well, you got to remember there's one other consideration, and that is the midterms. There is tremendous pressure coming to the White House from up the street in, I would say, dozens and dozens of congressional districts that literally are up for grabs. And Trump knows that if the Republicans lose control of the House or the Senate or both, he becomes a lame duck president that's going to have a hell of a time for the next 2 years. So he's literally got this balancing act going on where he's part politician and he's part commander in chief. If he didn't have to worry about the elections and the polling relating to those elections, Annie, trust me, he'd be like General Patton in World War II, rolling over the Nazis after the Battle of the Bulge. And it would be, we are going to destroy the military and industrial backbone of Iran until there's nothing left and the mullahs are gone and the IRGC is gone and Pahlavi or somebody similar comes in and takes over and we can make a deal with. That would be the messaging. It can't be his messaging because of the pressure being put on him from the political side, which is, hey, I'm in a district, Mr. President, that I'm going to lose if gas is $4.50 a gallon. And Trump's answer was correct, by the way, to the reporter who was asking, well, the gas is $4 a gallon. And his response was perfect. Well, you don't have to worry about being blown up by a nuclear bomb now, do you? And
well, hold on. Let me push back here on two things. Number one, do we know for sure? Didn't we hear that message last year? B2s ended it. There's no nuke. We're all safe. Less than a year later, we're back in there. So pardon me, but I'm not going to take his word for it, especially because I've confirmation from my own sources, like I did last year, that there was no ending their facility. Their Kolang Mountain, we couldn't even touch. And we have confirmation that their enriched uranium is inside Kolang Mountain. So the claim is false again. Even if it wasn't, I personally am not going to just take his perfect answer to gas price and say, yay, no more nuke issue, because that's, well, there's always Pakistan. So I'll have to push back against that.
Wait a minute. Let me stop you right there. That is a brilliant observation. Pakistan could ship them nukes tomorrow, and they would be a nuclear power. And what people forget, which I comment on all the time, you don't need to be able to put a nuke on the top of an ICBM, an intercontinental ballistic missile, to destroy New York. You just need to put it in a box that's 6 feet long, put it in a shipping container, of which there are 10,000 entering every day in the United States, in the port of Long Beach, in New Jersey, in New York, in Florida. And one container gets through because it's lead lined and radioactivity is not showing, and New York goes down. They don't need a missile. They just need a bomb. And you're right. Pakistan could ship them a bomb today, and they might already have done so. North Korea could do it, and they might have already done so. Iran, for egotistical reasons, wanted to be an independent nuclear power, meaning they create their own weapons, they enhance their own uranium, they have their own storage facilities, and they have their own delivery facilities. The truth of the matter is they could ship a dirty bomb out today. And
Yes.
oh my God, would we be in trouble? And I mean, we, the West. So it's not just blowing up their ability to enhance uranium. It's, hey, there's a very good possibility. And I saw the photos this morning out of Israel that there are satellite pictures of a convoy from last year with dozens of containers on these long trucks that are radioactive proof, lead lined, leaving the bombed facility before it was bombed. So the fact of the matter is, we don't know, we in the West don't know where the enhanced uranium is. And
I do.
Okay.
No,
And
genuinely, last year, before this morning, last year after the ceasefire, I put out a Substack, literally showing the satellite footages of them taking uranium out before we bombed it. I described the entire information and complications of Kalang Mountain. And most of the comments were, oh, you just don't want to believe Trump because you are a never Trumper. And then a year later, I'm like, so you were saying. But you know what else, if we don't do, we're going to be in trouble. And I mean, literally me and you. Barry, if we do not take our next ad break, we're going to be in serious trouble with the network. So let's hold it right here. Let's take our next ad break, guys. When we come back, I do see your comments. If you have any questions for Barry or me, put them in the comment and I will grab them for you. And we'll continue this discussion in 1 minute. Be right back.
Well, hello everybody. It's Annie Cyrus. Welcome to my art studio where all the magic happens. This is the station for painting, and that is the station for all the resin art I do. If you want to check out my art, all you gotta do is go to lutfstudio.com. Finish this painting, but I'm sure, or at least I hope, I'll see you at lutfstudio.com.
Freedom. Lots of upbeat music today. I like it. If it was up to me, I would turn my show into a full concert, right? Listen to this, my favorite song. lutfstudio.com for those of you who very kindly are complimenting my necklace. You can place your own order, pick your color, custom order of the necklace, cross color, and I will make it for you and I will ship it to you. And if you don't want a necklace, or if you're not into necklaces, there are other items, handmade. All product used to make these pieces are also all US made, including the resin I use is US made. So go to lutfstudio.com, grab a piece or place your custom order, use promo code MISSION for 10% discount. Let's bring back Barry to continue this discussion. And as I said, guys, if you have any questions, put them now, because if I miss them, if I try to scroll and get them, it's hard. Okay, Barry, we have about 30 minutes to try to make sense out of this mess without turning our own show into a mess, because I'm very good at doing that. Let's go back to what you were saying with before I brought up the Pakistan thing. You were saying, yes, there are some positives into what has happened, which is, if not the nuke, we can say, yes, US putting Israel aside, can I make a differentiation here for a second, by the way, Barry? I want to be very clear. It's important. It's very important not to believe our own ego-driven sentences. I want to be very clear. When someone like Pete Hegseth, that you all know, I had the biggest crush on that guy, disappointed me like the rest of the guys in my life. I mean, you know what I mean. He comes out yesterday and say, if you think Trump is bluffing, I'm on a roll today, Barry, aren't I? He comes out and says, if you think Trump is bluffing, just ask Khamenei. That to me, that was very uncalled for the fact that Trump or U.S. had nothing to do with Khamenei's death. It was all Israel. Why are we flat out literally taking this dramatic, historical credit and just easily run it for ourselves? Why?
There is an answer there, and I'll tell you what I think it is. I think the U.S. administration is doing Israel a favor by running air cover for Israel. And what I mean by that is, if it's America that takes the credit for most of the strategic bombings, for example, the heavy bombers using the B-1, the B-2, strategic bombers that are bringing in the heavy ordnance that Israel can't fly there because it doesn't have the heavy lift planes. And it takes credit for the destruction of all the leadership, the main leadership on the religious and the military side on the first minute of the war. It's easier for the Gulf states, I think, to stomach that. They are going to be much less adversarial about the war if the United States takes all the credit and Israel's just along for the ride. You and I both know that it's Israeli intelligence on the ground inside of Iran that is leading to all these strategic locationing of key players, all the way down to the besiege on the streets at a certain street corner at 9 o'clock in the morning, right? And then bam, here comes a missile and 30 guys are taken out, or they're meeting in the basement of a certain mosque. America, as best as I know, has 1/100th, if maybe less than that, of intelligence presence on the ground. The human intelligence, human that they call it, is all Israeli, and they're everywhere. Mossad agents are everywhere in Iran, and but for that intelligence, this war would not be anywhere close to as successful as it is. However, it is very important for, I think, the alliance that Trump is trying to hold together of the various Gulf states, not to mention the morons that belong to NATO, that it's American-led, it's American strategy, it's America taking the credit, because these people cannot stomach the idea that Israeli intelligence and Israeli military is pulling off most of the strategic wins, which, by the way, is my opinion, and it sounds like is your opinion as well.
It is, but then I also have the other side of the coin, because that's me, is that when we do this, number one, this could be contributing to why the Gulf countries are also very easy at trying to conquer Israel, because we're never letting them know who the real boss is. I'm sorry, I love America. I mean, you all know that, but the real boss here since last year, 12 Days War until today, boss is Israel. Like, they shook the world during 12 Days War. But we covered that as well with the B-2s and then the ceasefire. So yes, I agree with what you're saying, but then there's the other side that maybe it is finally time to show the region that, hey, technically, by definition, you got to be scared of these people.
I don't think there's any doubt in Dubai, in the UAE, in Qatar, in Saudi Arabia, there's a new sheriff in town, and even the press in those countries, and I've read a lot of it translated out of Arabic, has great admiration for what the Israeli military is able to do, and the Israeli intelligence networks are able to guide that military. The idea that any of those countries would ever, and I mean ever, go to war with Israel, against Israel, went from maybe a few percentage points to flat out 0.0 after watching the Israeli Air Force destroy what was one of the most fearsome military countries on earth, which with Iran. The standing army, the IRGC, the besieged forces, the control they had over their people. In literally the first day, the skies over Iran were open. And that was all Israel. That was all Israel's doing. They identified all the SAM 1s, the SAM 2s, the anti-aircraft missiles that Iran had created. Everything was taken out. And there's never been an air battle in the history of warfare, going all the way back to the First World War, where one side controlled the skies from the first 5 minutes all the way to the end. That's all Israel's doing. Now, I'm not saying America isn't doing anything, but it's American military might relying on Israeli intelligence. And I think that has created a fearsome respect among the Gulf Cooperation Council, which is why, in my opinion, all these countries are now putting tremendous pressure on Trump not to quit until there's a regime change. When you have Saudi Arabia leaking that, and you have Oman hinting that, and you have the UAE saying it out loud, and Kuwait as well, that's extraordinary. They would never have said that a month ago. Never, 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 because they were scared to death of Iran. Now,
a month ago, well, technically 6 weeks ago, they were all begging for this not to start.
Because they were afraid of Iran's retribution. And there was back channel communications. Don't screw with us or you become a target. And by the way, they've all become targets. And if you've noticed, every single country I just mentioned has been hit. And there have been more missiles launched from Iran against the Arab states than against Israel. And it's just not making the press. That's extraordinary. And none of them have struck back. They just put out press releases, please stop bombing us.
But that's where I want to go with. Guys, let me just, I just heard back from Aaron. He is fine, guys. He just wasn't on his phone because he was celebrating Passover at the bomb shelter. Oh, but good. He is fine. He's safe. He's in the shelter and celebrating Passover. He is not missing. Thank the Lord. He's safe. I promise to let the audience know as soon as I hear back from him in Israel. But let's go there. Let's go where you just said. As you know, I trust none of the countries in the region except Israel. I don't trust any of them. I can give you 10 reasons for each one of their actions. But I want to ask you this. From day one, the first attack, if I recall correctly, Islamic Republic of Iran's first drop of bomb was Qatar, followed by Oman, followed by Bahrain, went to Kuwait, went to Saudi, started trying over to Qatar again. They all start saying, if you don't stop, we're going to join the war. If you don't stop, we're going to join the war. They have not joined the war yet. So what do you take out of that reaction, or lack of it, for a better term?
If somebody's doing the heavy lifting for you, vis-a-vis Israel and the United States, and there's no downside to shooting off your mouth, but not shooting missiles, I think that's why they're hiding behind the fear of the future, because I really think deep down these countries are scared of one thing. They're scared that Donald Trump is going to bail on the war before there's regime change. I think they're terrified. And
thank you.
And they know the Shiites are an apocalyptic group. I'm talking about the ones in Iran. And if they all go down in flames, and take half the world with them, they're okay with that. As you know, that's their goofball religion. And if you can call it a religion, it's really a warrior mentality, the likes of which the world has not seen since the SS swore a blood oath to fight until the death, to their Fuhrer. And those are the people that are still ostensibly in control of Iran. And if, and I mean this literally, God forbid, they're left in power, or their successors or successors are left in power, that's terrifying to the Gulf states. And they don't want to be on the front lines to have to fight Iran, because I think they know in a couple of years there could be a Democrat president, a Democrat House, a Democrat Senate run by somebody like Kamala Harris, who has the understanding of international relations somewhere between a rock and a squirrel, and would not stand up to the destruction of those countries. And Kuwait has a long memory. They were invaded and absorbed by Saddam Hussein until America drove out Iraq from Kuwait and gave back the country to the Kuwaitis, because, Iraq considered that one of their provinces. And as far as Greater Iran is concerned, they see themselves as the leader of the Muslim world, at least they did. And if they are not removed from power, and there's not somebody like Pahlavi, who is my choice to be at least the interim leader, I think these countries are scared to death of what the future would hold for them if Trump sticks to what he said yesterday, which is, I'm already negotiating with a new regime. No, Mr. President, with all due respect, you're not.
Exactly.
You're talking to the old guys. It's just a different face. Or you're talking to the old guys, and the Speaker of the Parliament is the same guy. So,
no, I promise you, Ghalibaf is not the guy they're talking to. No way. But by the way, I'm glad you said it's Crown Reza Pahlavi is also your choice. But I want to address something on the comment. Bat, you said, sadly, Crown Prince might be another puppet. I want to know more about that. Did you read that somewhere? Do you have any signs or signals that makes you think that? For now, I'm gonna just go with it until you give me more information on the comment section. But I will say, wherever you're getting your information, you should probably turn that off just to stick with my channel. That's it. If Crown Prince Pahlavi was another puppet, he wouldn't be 100% ignored by all American parties. Just saying. When we find our puppets, guess what? We big him up. We call him a good-looking guy in an Armani suit, though we wanted to pay millions of dollars for their head. That would be my just one proof that he's not another puppet. Also, Matt, you said that very kindly said, Annie John, perhaps one day you may be able to tell your people that the Lord Jesus Christ is over Ahura Mazda, as stated in Psalms. Ahura Mazda is the Ahura Mazda is the Zoroastrian Avestan language for Jesus Christ. So I don't know what you want me to tell my people, but when we say Ahura Mazda in Avestan language, that is Lord, God, Jesus Christ. So I've seen you before. I know you're here and there on my YouTube, but I feel like you've been watching some channels you shouldn't be watching as well. But that being said, and again, if Prince Pahlavi was one of the puppets, do you think he would have spent all of his time to constantly remind Americans of the persecuted Christians in Iran and the underground churches in Iran and the pastors that are being executed? No, he wouldn't, because that wouldn't fit the narrative of a puppet. Now, back to you, Barry. I'm sorry. I'm trying to there are certain topics that I can't let it slide anymore. Like even in the kindest way when it's phrased, I'm like, let's address it. Because we can't have that. One of the reasons I played that long intro at the beginning of today's show, Barry, is I don't know why. After all these years, it's so hard for a lot of people to understand that Iranians, the people, are so opposite of the regime. The fastest growing movement in history of Middle East is happening right now in the last 4 years inside Iran. Not just people coming to Christ, but they're building of underground churches, going to prison, dying for this movement. It's like, but again, the answer comes back to media, I guess, pumping all this. Iranians are crying over Khamenei's death, and Iranians are hating Trump, and they hate Israel. Anyways, back to what you were saying. The regime change thing, I want to go back there for a minute. Do you think, and I agree, by the way, 100%, they have not gotten involved, because even there's 1 in a million chance that there won't be a regime change and Trump's going to just give power to the moderates, these countries are not going to survive that. But this new regime narrative, I'm not talking about the existence of it now. Starting yesterday, we both spotted the narrative. Can we put up the Truth Social post of Trump? This was the latest narrative pushed, where he put out a Truth Social saying Iran's new regime president, much less radicalized and far more intelligent than his predecessors. The rest is not important, but he's literally now saying Iran's new regime president. You also have Pete Hegseth coming out and saying the new regime better be smart and make a deal.
That's just retarded.
Thank you. You see, this is why we love Barry Nussbaum, by the way.
It has no basis in reality. It's made up gibberish.
But I know it, and you know it. But here's the thing. What if, though it can exist, intelligence, really? Like, come on. I know he doesn't think. Okay, he said sadly he's no longer with us because he was on camera and talking. What about posting? Can somebody monitor what he posts? But okay,
stop it. When I was doing network shows in 2016, I won't tell you who I was talking to in the administration, and I was begging them, would you please take away Donald Trump's phone so he stops tweeting, because that's what it was, still Twitter, in the middle of the night. And some of the stuff he's saying will prevent him from having the support of the American people. And I would tell this person this message on a consistent basis. And what I got back was, nobody tells Donald Trump what to do. He thinks he's always right, and you can't correct him. And this is exactly the same thing, except it's 10 years later, Annie. So, as I said with you 45 minutes ago, rather than get caught up in these just goofball statements like, oh, the new regime better do blah, 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 blah. And it's not a new regime. It's the same.
But hold on. I need to stop you there, because we both know how these, what we would call goofball statements. So remember my own reaction to Giuliani becoming El Sharia was like, until he showed up at the White House. I'm like, whoa. That's my concern, Barry. A lot of what's retardation, stupid, out of this world crazy ends up happening under this administration. We had Erdogan at the White House. Like, what's to stop them from having, let's say, Mousavi at the White House in 2 months from today for our 250th anniversary? We've seen the madness come to life.
I know. And you're in the case of Syria, nice, good-looking man in a nice suit is one of the colossal, politically dumbest things the president has ever said, because he's a stone-cold mass murderer who now doesn't slaughter people and cut off heads. He's wearing a $1,200 suit and goes to the White House and plays basketball, by the way.
And let's not forget that the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia paid for the suit.
Crazy. He was Al Qaeda. Okay, I mean, I get it. So if, and I mean this literally, God forbid the goofball, silly statements about We don't need a regime change. There's already been a regime change. I hope the new regime is more moderate and reasonable than the old one. As long as that doesn't translate into action that allows those people to stay in power, I'm okay with it. He can say all the dumb stuff he wants. Like, for example, this morning, thank goodness, out of the White House, they said, you know, the war is more than half over. We should be done in a couple of weeks. Okay, that's a lot better than 2 hours from now. And every week that goes by, and there's another 3,000 or 5,000 targets destroyed, and another, I don't know how many thousands of besieged militia blown up, and how many more thousand defections of the IRGC literally on a daily basis running away from their units. The ability of the old guard or the successors to the old guard to control Iran going forward is being systematically lowered on the daily. So every day we stay there and the Marines are showing up. They're there now. They showed up yesterday. And the A-10 Warthog fleet landed in Great Britain yesterday and is on its way to the Middle East. Those are ferocious, and I mean ferocious offensive weapons. They're not used for anything else except close quarter annihilation of whatever they're shooting at. And the theory is, and I ran this by somebody in Israel yesterday, those planes are being brought in to destroy everything on the coast of Iran facing Karg Island. And the reason is, and what I was told, if American Marines land on Karg Island without air cover that has wiped out the missile batteries on the coast of Iran, the Marines will get annihilated by missiles because Iran will destroy Karg Island along with the Marine Expeditionary Force landing on the island, which is 12 miles. It's like shooting fish in a barrel. It would be easy peasy. So that's what the Warthogs are being brought in for. Those things are close quarter annihilation machines. They're flying tanks, and everything they shoot at becomes just dust. And so my dime store military strategy opinion is those planes are being brought in. They're going to attack the coastline. They're going to eliminate the missile batteries. And then Trump is going to take Karg Island and seize the oil. When that happens, Iran is done. The money is cut off. The ability to trade internationally is cut off. They will become impotent and unable to continue governance, and the regime will fall. That's my opinion from where I sit today. That's what I think is going to happen. So you can ignore, God willing, all the goofball statements like, I hope the new regime is a better negotiator than the old regime. And we've already had regime change, which we've already stated, you and I, that's BS. There's no regime change. It's some new people. That's it. Agreed?
To a point, yes. I will not ignore them. I will keep yelling at them. Because remember, Americans have very short memories. So I will remind them of what's being said versus what's being done. And as far as the Karg Island goes, I will have to disagree to an extent. It is not going to be as easy as it's being described.
What is not
easy? Taking control of Karg Island by US.
It's going to be a monster project. I totally agree.
It's going to be lose the midterms guaranteed project with many heartbreaking names coming out as those who gave their life for this. I will join the club of uncalled for. There is no reason to try to take Karg. Maybe, I'll be honest, maybe part of me, the Iranian part of me is saying, you want to leave anything for us to go back to? Or you want to just demolish it all? Or do you want to prove again that I was right when I said US will do whatever US needs to do to stay in charge of Middle East, because a chaotic Middle East equals good money for US. But I actually pray they don't try to do that. My perfect world, Barry, is tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern time when Trump comes out to say whatever it is, he has important information, is that he's going to say the U.S. operation is done and over with. We achieved our objective, which was, destroy their shield to protect their nuclear programming, icing on the cake. Hey, we did the regime change too. We watch from far and back Israel as Israel achieves their objective. That would be my perfect world. We're not going to hear that. But that would be the best option. Just say we did what we did, all the credit to us. Hey, I have personally signed off. I ran it by every Iranian on planet. We're going to write Trump's name as the man who liberated Iran as long as he backs off today. Like, that's the deal. If he leaves the scene when we're liberated, we'll still give him the credit because that's all that matters. He wants the credit. We're going to even create a new Persian Peace Prize, and we're going to dedicate it every year to Trump for as long as he's alive.
But Annie, if Trump leaves or announces we're done today, he's leaving the regime in power, and they'll rebuild their control.
Oh no, but you missed the part. I said if he announces that U.S. operation is done, we're going to be back here backing Israel, and now Israel's going to go achieve its objective, which is toppling the regime. That is what I just said. But listen, let's be, we're always honest, but let's be brutal here. Barry, as long as President Trump is in middle of this war, Israel will not achieve their objective. We need the U.S. out of the way for Israel to finish the job. That's just reality.
Why do you say that?
Well, 3 reasons. Number one, U.S. foreign policy when it comes to Middle East, proven, regardless of who's in the White House, proven that we are terrible at picking the right people for the job. Number 2, which I don't, by the way, I don't agree that we're terrible. I think it's on purpose because let's break it down again. I've done it 3 times this week. Number 1, imagine a free Iran under leadership of Crown Prince Pahlavi or someone like him, educated, grew up in America, as mentioned, familiar with military concept, very successful businessman, all of that, loves Israel, right? Married his daughter to a Jew. Imagine that. Let's look at the true reflections on America. Economic. Number 1, we probably within a year, we're not going to need to sell any military equipment to Israel anymore. Right there, oh boy. And then on the other hand, there won't be a need for Abraham Accords through U.S. grandpa anymore because Iran's going to start the Cyrus Accord. Oops, goes all of that. Then we create a competition directly for our buddy Saudi Arabia, a real genuine competition when it comes to worldwide oil industry. And then in 5 years, the whole world comes to realize Iranians aren't a bunch of barbaric third world country, whatevers. They're actually very well educated. Their economy is blooming. They're boosting. There is a possibility even Iran might somewhat become a known name. None of that works well for U.S. foreign policy. That would be the reason that no matter what, when U.S. gets involved with anything Middle East, the result is not going to be what Israel is looking for, which happens to be what we're looking for as Iranians.
Well, let me throw a little bit of confusion into this for more data. An interview that Donald Trump did several decades ago is resurfacing in the last couple of days. And what I'm talking about specifically is his commentary. This is long before he ever became president or even ran for president, which is if blah, 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 blah happens from Iran, we should go in and just take the oil. I don't think he's ever forgotten that. And that's what happened in Venezuela, Annie. I think he's looking at the Iranian oil, not because the U.S. needs it, because under the drill baby drill policy of Trump since he's taken over, the United States is energy independent again. We're a net exporter. We're not relying on Saudi Arabia and the Gulf states. We don't get any oil through the Straits of Hormuz. liberating the Strait of Hormuz saves NATO and the NATO countries and China. It doesn't do anything for the United States. I think in the back of his mind, he's thinking something like what he pulled off with Venezuela, which is, if you think about it, Maduro gets grabbed by Delta commandos, brought back to the United States. There's no regime change. The vice president, who was a mad socialist supporter of Maduro, is now president. And why is she a good guy now? Because she gave the United States all the oil Donald Trump wants.
Now you're catching up. Now you're catching up with why I take these new regime phrasing since yesterday serious, because there are those who will, well, we both know about Hood now. There are those who will agree to these terms to make a fake new regime. That's why I'm taking it serious, but go ahead.
Well, the point being is Iranian oil comes through, the vast majority of it comes through Kharg Island. It is the busiest export site in the world in one place. And the idea of being in control of that is over time unfathomable wealth. And Trump looks at that. Don't forget, he's not just a career politician like Biden and all these Republicans that have been.
He's a businessman.
Yeah, since the Civil War. He's a business guy. And he's thinking long term. Hey, how are we going to get this paid for? I know what we'll do. The countries that we open, and he said this openly last week, the countries that benefit from the Strait of Hormuz being open and for free passage need to pay us to hold that strait and protect it. Why? Because without the straits open, the Arab countries that ship oil through that strait go bankrupt very quickly. They have no way to export their oil because there's no pipeline. On the other hand, Trump looks at the oil that comes through Kharg Island and thinks, geez, if I got this, this is billions and billions and billions a week to the United States, and we can pay for the whole war. And so everyone that's beaten me up over, what's this costing in terms of financial ruin to the United States when people are hungry and blah, 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 and all the things Democrats are saying, ignoring the fact that nuclear weapons could have been dropped, all over the world by Iran. I think Trump looks at it and goes, hey, if I can figure out a way to pay for this and it doesn't cost us a penny, not only do I look great, but we win the midterms. And the next 2 years of my career as I'm a lame duck president are the most successful in history. You watch. Trump doesn't leave without the oil. That's my prediction.
I didn't say he's going to leave without the oil. I just said he's going to leave with the oil without taking her with his new regime. We're both saying the same thing.
It's possible.
But
if they destroy Kharg Island, Iran's financial future is toast. There's no way for that country to survive, no matter who's.
Oh no, there is. Not as quick, but there is. But yes, it's going to be a huge hit. And again, we're both saying the same thing. But you're thinking military takeover. I'm thinking deal takeover. It's exactly and specifically because of Venezuela and because of the narrative of new regime. I think we're about to get hit by tornado. Tornado sirens just went off here. But it's okay because we're out of time anyway, so I can be taken away with tornado after the show. Barry, we are out of time. I always love having you on. Let's try to get you back on next week for an update depending on what happens. Findbarry.com is where you can support Barry. Tax-deductible donations are welcomed. Sign up for their newsletter. Get free information, just like you got today, but every day. And make sure to share their videos, subscribe to their social media. Barry, lovely to have you. I'm sure I'm going to give you a call after his speech tonight. But for now, I'm glad you could join us. Appreciate your time.
So great to be with you. I'm available as always. See you next week. All the best.
Absolutely. Absolutely. To my lovely audience, I'm so glad we could go over to complete this discussion. Wow, this thing is getting crazy. But Thank you for being here. Let me remind you, because it is still joyful and exciting. Doesn't matter what comes next. Just like I said at the beginning, God is good. God is always good. And no matter what man says on this earth, I will rely on God to show me the path. The book, The Architecture of Jihad, the book is out. It has been out for about 10 days now. Amazing response. I am so humbled by your support. If you haven't picked up a copy yet, one sec. Okay. If you haven't picked up a copy yet, grab it on Amazon, Kindle, or paperback, or you can get signed copy on my website, liveuptofreedom.com. I encourage you to become a paid subscriber on my Substack if you like to continue supporting me financially. That's liveuptofreedom.substack.com. I will be back tomorrow with Dr. Bill Federer. Look forward to that discussion. And I believe I will be joining Brown House Live tonight to discuss whatever it is that Trump is going to announce. Until tonight on Brown House Live, or for the rest of the platform until tomorrow, stay safe, and I will see you soon. Bye, guys.
You're watching Worldview 2, built on the 35 years of Worldview books, documentaries, research, high-profile interviews, and the radio and television broadcasts of Brannon House. This is Brannon House Live.